Breaking news on Seahawks today as your Seattle Seahawks have added UDFA rookie defensive end Jordan Ferguson to the 90-man roster. If you don't know much about Jordan Ferguson, that's where we come in to tell you all about him. Jordan Ferguson, this was a sneaky good find of sorts for the Seahawks. It's a re-signing as he initially signed with the Seahawks after the draft, and they ultimately let him go. Now they bring him back again. But listen to this. Pretty fascinating when you learn more about Ferguson. Not just a UDFA, but a first-team All-Conference USA selection last year out of Middle Tennessee State. And in the Hula Bowl, he was named the MVP with a solid performance there. Now, you look at the statistics, not bad at all for what he was able to do last season, as he was able to play in 13 games. He picked up 68 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, had 9 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles there in his time at Middle Tennessee State this past season. The thing that's kind of holding him back, and we'll talk more about this in just a second, is the limitations on speed and poor size. He checks in at 6'2", 271, so you can see the issue with Jordan Ferguson is not a lack of production. It's there. That looks like numbers that you would put up for an NFL prospect, but there's other concerns like size and speed that we'll talk about coming up later. But nonetheless, Jordan Ferguson joining the Seahawks roster. What do you think of this signing of the Seahawks picking up Jordan Ferguson? Grade it for me. It's our pinned comment today. A, B, C, D, or F. We'll tell you more and get the scouting reports and everything you need to know about Jordan Ferguson in just a moment. But first, want you guys to check in. Tell us what your grade for Jordan Ferguson would be. A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know in the comment section below. Folks, this is why you subscribe. Does not matter how big or small a signing is. We cover it here on Seahawks Today as we're talking about your Seattle Seahawks each and every day. And this is not our first video of the day either. This is our second video that we're bringing you here because when news breaks, we bring it to you here on the channel. We also have an exciting watch party coming up on Thursday night when the Seahawks play the Vikings. We do our live shows. This is the channel for diehard Seahawks fans. We're covering training camp each and every day. So stay locked in. Turn on notifications. That way, when they make a move like this one right here, you get a video with instant reaction and analysis. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Turn on notifications for the latest happenings and your favorite team. We got you covered here on the channel. Now, I look at Ferguson, and I see a guy that had a really solid career, making the most of the opportunity that he had there at Middle Tennessee State. I think that this is a guy that has a lot of reason to be happy with the work that he did in the production, the college career he had, a very good college career. But I'm not expecting this to be a game changer that is a player that gets on the 53-man roster. Maybe, at best, you're looking at Ferguson being a guy that hangs around. He competes for a practice squad spot, but I would be surprised if some miracle of some sorts if he ends up on the 53-man roster. The fact they already let go of him once should kind of tell you what you need to know on that front. But nonetheless, here is more from Pro Football Network with their scouting report when it comes to Ferguson here. Ferguson made a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage in Middle Tennessee State over the past 2 seasons. Get this, combining for 34.5 tackles for loss and 18 sacks over 2 seasons. That's a lot. He's a terrific football player. He's a marginal athlete with limited upside. Though rated low, Ferguson could make a next-level roster as a pass rush specialist. So there is hope. It's possible. A lot would have to go right, but there is the upside there that you can see, and it showed with the production that he was able to do in college. More on this scouting report. Let's kind of go in depth piece by piece. One of the things that Ferguson does really well is he uses his hands to protect himself. Very crucial when you talk about a pass rusher, that he's using that when fighting those offensive linemen the way he does. He's not afraid to get nasty, as they say at the line of scrimmage, using his hands on that front. Rarely gets off his feet as far as the footwork goes there with what he was able to do. Rarely gets off the feet on that front. Now, this point, I like this. Stays with the assignments. So that tells you that his football IQ is very smart, that he is a smart football mind that's listening to what his coaches have to say, that he's coachable. And let's just say, for example, this. Even if he is just a camp body of some sorts, he's obviously a good camp body to have around because he's coachable and he's a good listener, because if he's going to stay with those assignments, he's doing what he's told as far as that goes. So I like hearing that for a guy that's competing for playing time, that wants to make a roster, that he's doing what's asked of him. To me, that's a very good sign as far as that goes. Now, we talk about the limited speed and poor size. Let me reiterate this. When you talk about the poor size, 6'2", 271. Not exactly what you're looking for when it comes to that position of trying to find a pass rusher there. But I'll say this, to his credit, to his benefit, you can tell that even with those limitations, he still played the best of what he could. He did not let that hold him back when he was at Middle Tennessee State. Another thing, as far as something that is a negative as far as he goes on the scouting report, is struggling to get off blocks at times. That, he kind of gets himself tied up in some of those situations that doesn't make him look too good as far as that goes. So, yeah, you get the 9.5 sacks, but you get the bad, too, where he struggles to get off the blocks both directions. So, kind of a little bit of both as far as that goes. Now, I was reading more about Ferguson. Did some deep diving from the Murfreesboro Daily News Journal, and their beat writer who covers Middle Tennessee State had to say this about Ferguson, which I found very fascinating. Ferguson has an X factor that made him a fan favorite in Middle Tennessee State, and his ability to disrupt an offense made him one of the best Blue Raiders defensive linemen to come through the program in years. That could help him stick around in the NFL. So here's a guy that not only is coachable, he's well-liked, he's one of the best players to come through that program there at Middle Tennessee State as a defensive lineman and made an impact. So all around a good guy. I don't see any problems at all with making this signing. Sure, maybe the size isn't quite there, the speed where it needs to be. Give him a shot. Let's just see if he's got something. Doesn't hurt this Seahawks team at all with this signing. So this won't be the last move the Seahawks made by any means. Who should they sign next? Is there another UDFA out there you like? Is there a big-time player you think this Seahawks team should add? Tell us in the comments section who you think the Seahawks should target next. Reminder, we'll be live coming up on Thursday night for our Seahawks-Vikings watch party. You will not want to miss out on that. Going to be a heck of a time here on the channel. We'll get started about an hour before kickoff and have you covered, so do not miss out on that. Subscribe now for free today. Join us on Thursday. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today.